I have just a couple of things to say. I think that the beauty of social media for an organization like the UN is that it allows us to receive questions from so many more people. And that helps us be more aware of what the perception of the public is of what it is that we do. And it's a kind of direct communication, which you all know, so it enables us to listen better. Because, as all of you know, we're coming close to 4 million. We're now at 3.75 million just on Twitter. Those are interactions that provide us with valuable information about what it is that we're doing and whether or not we're communicating what it is that the organization is doing on behalf of people. And then finally, I think what's really incredible for us and for anybody who's involved in using social media, whether it's the UN, whether it's the member states, whether it's you, is that it is a wonderful navigational tool. So if you take a look at some of the posts that we've done this morning, is it enables us in real time to point the public to all sorts of different parts of the organization and what they're doing without having to wait. And it's that immediacy, which is a tremendous responsibility for the organization and everybody who is working for it, that gives you that ability to connect with somebody 12, 14, 15, 16 hours in a different time zone at the same time. And while there is that responsibility, and as Stefan said, there is the risk, it's also a tremendous opportunity both for us and for you to know more about what it is that people think about you. And that helps you improve your response. I'll stop there.
Thank you. And I think that we can open the floor for questions. And if Ambassador Lambertini wants to add something, but
I think it is explain why I was late.
Okay.
We had the proof.
I'm sorry about this.
It was very nice to of you.
So then it's open for questions. And I repeat, someone that wants the book, if you give the business card to the author, I'm going to send it to you. People that came in here.
Alessandra.
Alessandra and Rhonda.
Yeah, Alessandra Baldini.
Alessandra
Question
Baldini,
for Stefan. Why does the Secretary General doesn't have his own Twitter?
You know, the question is why the Secretary General doesn't have his own Twitter account, I assume was a question.
That's right.
It's a valid question. I think for me the value in a Twitter account would be its authenticity. We don't have a system that's set up where the SG could be tweeting, or we haven't found the right way to do it. We could do a kind of fake Ban Ki-moon Twitter account, and but I don't think it would be authentic. I think there are a number of great UN Twitter accounts, and I think one of the best in terms of senior leadership is from Helen Clark, who really has embraced it. And if you follow her Twitter feed, it's obviously her travels and things like that, but it's also sharing a lot of personal views on, going to an exhibit at the Met or the Opera, and it's authentic. And I think with, social media has a pretty good nose for inauthenticity. And I wouldn't want to embark on a project that I can't staff, and that I don't think he could embrace the way he would want to embrace. We've tried to work and improve the spokesman's account and put more pictures and things like that, but we're just it doesn't fit in with the SG at this point.
Rhonda?
Yes, I have two questions. I'm co-author of a book called Netizens on the history and impact of Usenet and the internet, put online in 1994 and published in 1997, and still the concept of netizen has spread around the world, and it takes the world from a different aspect. How are the public officials being influenced by the people? And I didn't hear you speak about that, and I thought that is happening online, that it is having an impact, and there's lots of views about what the UN is doing, like criticism of what the UN did bombing Libya. A big discussion about that online. And I can give many other examples of very interesting discussions, not necessarily Twitter, or they may be part of it at times, or Facebook, but but there's lots of other ways and whatever. So I didn't hear any, concept about that, and I didn't hear that really from anyone else on are we having an impact? and is that part of what you're working on? Thank you.
Well, I think like the impact that social media is having on the voice that people can have in different issues and topics that are usually discussed within diplomacy, it's very important. If you think about the creation of the International Criminal Court, for instance, even before social media came about, it was all about bringing people together and civil society organization pushing for the issue. I think the landmine sort of like campaign is very similar to that, where civil society had a very important part. What social media is doing and what the internet is doing in general is just giving an extra tool, and a very powerful tool, and a tool that not only gives you a voice but also a responsibility. And the responsibility is about what you're saying and also what you are able to listen. Because at the end of the day, for a diplomat, for a government official, is also about listening to what is happening out there. And in a sea of information that we have right now, and it's like real time, 24/7, it becomes sort of hard even to skim through social media, through Twitter, through Facebook, through posts, bloggers, and Tumblr accounts and Facebook pages, and sort of really listen to what your audiences are saying. Because it's one thing to sort of be on Twitter, for instance, and respond to questions, and it's another thing to sort of use that tool to listen to what happens out there and sort of implement the ideas that come from there into a policy strategy. And I think like what we're missing and what we're trying to do, looking at the future, would be to sort of like merge in that communication to sort of a policy strategy where the two things come together, and where you're sort of working on taking ideas from people and taking your voices from different, from civil society organization, from agencies that are part of your government, from a non-governmental organization, and put all those ideas together and sort of working together and collaborating together to sort of come out with policy solutions to challenges. For instance, in 2014, a few people from different governments met in Stockholm, and the Swedish government put together sort of a team. They call it the Stockholm Initiative on Digital Diplomacy. Italy was part of this initiative. We sort of met in Stockholm and to sort of brainstorm on idea on how to move forward. Because again, we all know at this point how to use Twitter, how to use Facebook. We all know how to put out messages and try to have those and try to engage with people. But we're still like at a point where engagement, for instance, can become like the salt and pepper of diplomacy, because we put out that word here and there to sort of like in our speeches, but we still don't understand exactly what that engagement is. Is it about retweets? Is it about likes? Is it about responding to questions and comments that you receive on social media platforms? Or is it more about understanding the new environment, the new space in which you're putting yourself, and understanding how power is diluting. It's not just in the hands of governments any longer. And sort of put all those elements together and replan your policy for the future. So that's going to be the challenge to, I think, to move forward.